good evening, good morning, depending on where you are. Depending on where you are joining my late night live broadcast. Nnamdi Kanu just finished his live broadcast. Let's quickly listen to our national anthem. Thank you for joining me this evening. You are watching my late night live broadcast, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have just finished his live broadcast, and of course I have to quickly bring some of the things he discussed to prove to you that when we are talking, when Biafrans are talking, we are bringing proof to you. This is the continual awareness for Nigeria disintegration. We are continuing orientating you, making sure that you know why you can no longer to have your hope and faith in Nigeria. Nigeria is collapsing or have collapsed. What you are looking at now, is a sign of a dying horse. So the enemies are not sleeping, and guess what? We are not sleeping. And this whole thing we are doing is the sacrifice we make for the freedom of Biafra. The sacrifice we make for the freedom of Biafra is that we are going to be 1 million steps ahead of Nigeria government. We are going to be 1 million steps ahead of the terrorist-controlled Nigeria government, and our duty is nothing other than bringing the country down and exposing them to the entire world, to the international community, that they are sponsoring terrorism, that anything that comes from Nigeria cannot be trusted, that anything that comes from any representative, any government official from Nigeria, anything coming from them are all lies. Anything coming from Nigeria official, any government official, both from the embassy of Nigeria anywhere in the world, they are all fake, scam, fraud, and lies. You must have seen the one who are the Ahmed, the man who is responsible for issuing visas, Nigeria visa. He is the owner of the company that issue visas to Nigeria. He is now facing fraud charges by the Nigeria government. Of course, they are not going to do anything to him. It is just because probably some other part of the country, someone from a certain part of the country is involved, so they cannot just overlook him. So they have to stage manage the whole corruption thing. But as that, he still operates the visa, he still operates the company. They say he has nothing to do with the company that is issuing the visa, and that's another fraud. So what I'm about to do this evening after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast is to back what he has said in Radio Biafra. I want to back it up. I want to back them up with evidences that you can see with your eyes. The evidences, I am going to start by first proving to you when Nnamdi Kanu mentioned a woman called Abike Debri, or what is she called? You see, what we are doing is Biafra you can never compare Biafra to any African country. That is one thing every Biafra agitator will assure, that Biafra can never be compared to any African country, because the foundation of Biafra is not going to be based on fraud and lies like in Nigeria and most African countries. So the foundation of Biafra is truth, because Bible say the truth and the truth shall set you free. We are going to continue to say the truth, and we will be backing our truth with evidences. So now I have come here to back Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's claim on Radio Biafra today up with the evidences. Now, I want to start from here. You see, Abike Debre, or whatever she's called, claim that no Nigeria has been evicted by Chinese, right? That it was all blackmail. And that is why I am telling you now that the entire, including some of the leaders in Europe that are watching me, everything that is coming from Nigeria government officials are all lies. That is what we are establishing to international community. Everything coming from them are lies, fraud, and scam. Now, watch this.
Tonight, give us a clarity. If you got my earlier, thank you so much, Honorable Arawa, for joining us tonight. Give us a clarity. If you got my earlier question about some Nigerians who are worried that some of their relatives and their people have been badly treated in China. Have you heard of any of such?
Well, no formal report was made to the ministry or the commissions. But there are some videos going viral where, people now decide that you must bully through social media. That is not acceptable, and I don't think any one of us should be allowed to be bullied through social media. Now, here's the situation. Some people were kept in a hotel in China, regular 14 days quarantine, free of charge. After the 14 days quarantine, you're supposed to go to your homes. Now you have some of these people who decided not to go to anywhere but start walking on the street and saying, China, what are you doing with us? So normally we should learn to be disciplined and obey laws. If those Nigerians have a problem, where did they go to? You left the hotel, you wanted to continue to stay in the hotel, and they said no, go to the mission in Guangzhou. They never went to the mission in Guangzhou. There's a mission in Guangzhou. We have a very functional Nigerian diaspora organization, very efficient, very proactive. They didn't report to them. Now you went on the street and recorded yourselves. Now some people, rather than ask questions, just started saying blackmailing. That is blackmail. Now those Nigerians, the federal government has said you can come back home. Go to the mission, register, put on your corona test, and then with the numbers compiled, you will be brought back home. Don't calculating videos. You don't know where those videos were recorded. So I don't give in to social media bullying. No report has come to the commission, but I'm telling you, from the mission there, the mission in Guangzhou, let them go there, register their names, show their documents and all that, and register properly. And then the Nigerian mission in Guangzhou will liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring them back. Names are already being compiled. They're on the street. Are they supposed to be on the streets walking around in China? No. You're not supposed to be moving about in groups. You're supposed to be in your homes. They are walking around. If they have homes, go there. If they don't have homes, go to the mission. Register, bring your documentation, and the mission will arrange for you to come back home. So please, I want to stress that all that social media bullying should not be tolerated, should not be accepted. Let's do things properly. Be disciplined. Let's follow processes and stop blackmailing government.
For us here at Channels Television, social media trends are not what we follow. We follow the real stories. We woke up this morning of some people sending queries to say these people, some of them are their family members, and some of the claims that they're sending is some of the issues that we're trying to bring to the fore tonight. Thank you so much for clearing the air, and perhaps this information for some of them who are lost as to what to do.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I am coming now to address the lies in Abike Debre, or what is she called? She said that all the things going on in social media are trying to blackmail the government, that the people are not being evicted by Chinese. Did you hear her? She said that everything that is going on in social media are all lies. That the Chinese government are not evicting Nigerians, Africans in China. Did you see the lie? And this man, this journalist from Shehu from this channel TV did not bother to ask any further question. He just said, thank you for clearing the air. What air have been cleared here? When actually, let me first of all address what she said by playing that audio bit by bit. Now watch.
Nigerians who are worried that some of their relatives and their people have been badly treated in China. Have you heard of any of such?
Well, no formal report was made to the ministry or the commission, but
she said no formal report has been filed to the military, to the ministry or the commission, and that is a lie. Let me show you where the lie comes from. This is number one. Let me show you where the lie comes from.
In Guangzhou, okay? They will call you. I don't know, maybe you people are...
One moment.
Not in touch with them. But I'm giving you... They give us any picture. They come just today. We discuss our guests today. They tell us, people will not get up and go outside. People will get up and go outside. They will go one way house. Nothing. No good place here. Now, my brothers, I return book of Christopher. Okay.
The voice you are hearing now is the voice is the voice between a Nigerian and the commission. Between a Nigerian and the commission in China. So Abike Debri lied. Now listen to that voice.
I will give your number to my book of Christopher. Okay, I will give your number to my colleague who is in the Nigerian consulate in Guangzhou. Okay, he will call you. I don't know, maybe you people are not in touch with them, but I will give you. They give us any picture. They come yesterday. We discussed our guest today. They tell us people will not get up and go outside. People will get up and go outside. They tell us go one way house. Nothing. No good place here. Now, my brothers, I tell you that my heart does scatter. If say no be for another country, if say no be for one thing, I will commit something here. Please, don't do that. One of them here. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not the essence of life. Please. I remember you have a family at home. What good would that be? What good would that bring you? Would that take you out of the present problem? No need. There's always a tomorrow for those who are patient and believe in God, my brother. Pursue me for house. No second goodness. They just pursue me. Please pursue me. And then outside, please. They stay my name. They still they pursue me outside. No brother, no house. It happens sometimes. Please, I know. If I don't take a serious, Nigerians they do and they insult us. Now show me that thing, parents of Africa. My brother, please. I have told you, my colleague will call you. I am in Beijing right now. I'm on my way out.
Did you hear her? She said that she is in Beijing right now, that her colleague will call them. And the person you hear talking is in China. One of the people that were evicted. Abike Debri lied. Number one, she lied to Channel Television that nobody has brought any complaint to the mission in Beijing or anywhere in China. That was fat lie. And it is only people with evil, with demonic mind, that will see what is going on in what is going on to Africans in China, and especially Nigerians. And she came on Channel Television to lie. And this is how they lie. Every time they open their mouth, you see this government, this terrorist government, every time anybody, any one of them, including those that have some adulterated Biafra blood in them, they open their mouth and lie against God. You can imagine what is coming out from a woman, Abike Debri. Watch.
But I will call my colleague there. Something is going on. Moreover, I'm not a man. You have been calling me my brother. You see, if I vex for you now, wait till you go talk. Okay, no vex for that. No vex. Because of my tension. I never vex. I will tell you the truth. If you get outside, our people, we have outside. No place to stay, no place to go, no food to eat. Yes, many people have come. All Nigerian food, all African food are already closed. No food to eat, no drink, no food by something. Now don't drink the something whether they get along for. My brother, let's see how far we can go before the end of today, please. But I want you to know that we are not just sitting down and doing nothing, no. But please, let's see how far another 24 hours will take us by the grace of God, please. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Take care. God bless. Remember, God.
That was a telephone conversation between a Nigerian and the consular or the commission that Abike Debri said nobody have contacted them. Now watch. You see, we are going to destroy. In fact, after this generation of Biafra, everybody that has anything to do when Nigeria is disintegrated, like Nnamdi Kanu said, when they hear Biafra, they will disappear. Now, watch. One moment. Now, here.
going viral where, people now decide that you must bully through social media. That is not acceptable, and I don't think any...
She said that there are some video going around in social media, and that is bullying the government. So, and that is unacceptable. Did you hear Abike Debre? Now, continue.
Should be allowed to be bullied through social media. Now, here's the situation. Some people were kept in a hotel in China, regular 14 days quarantine, free of charge.
Did you hear that? She said that people were kept in a hotel in China, 14 days quarantine, free of charge. In China, 14 days quarantine, free of charge. That's another lie. Now, after I will show you how it becomes lie. Now, watch.
After the 14 days quarantine, you're supposed to go to your homes. Now you have some of these people who decided not to go to anywhere but start walking on the street and saying, China, what are you doing with us? So normally we should learn to be disciplined and obey laws. If those Nigerians have a problem, where did they go to? You left the hotel, you wanted to continue to stay in the hotel, and they said, no, go to the mission in Guangzhou. They never went to the mission.
They should go to the mission in Guangzhou. And according to her, they never went to the mission in Guangzhou. And that's another fat lie.
There's a mission in Guangzhou. We have a very functional Nigerian diaspora organization, very efficient, very proactive. They didn't report to them. Now you went on the street and recorded yourself. Now some people, rather than ask questions, just started saying blackmailing. That is blackmail. Now those Nigerians, the federal government has said you can come back home. Go to the mission, register, put on your corona test, and then.
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? She is saying they should go to the mission, and he just heard the telephone call between one of them and the mission. And she claimed nobody have contacted mission. She claimed that they have given them hotel 14 days free of charge. That's a fat lie. Now, what? Now, see this. This is BBC. What you are looking at now is BBC. And according to Abike Debre, this is a lie from BBC also. African leaders. No, sorry, here. African evicted from Chinese hotels over COVID-19 fears. Look at them. Hundreds of African residents and businessmen in China southern city of Guangzhou have been evicted from hotels and apartments. Did you see that? From hotels and apartments, as local health officials roll out a testing campaign for COVID-19, community leaders have told BBC. Those evicted say they are being discriminated against. They are accusing us of having the virus, said Tobena Victor, a Nigerian student in Guangzhou. We paid rent to them, and after collecting rent, they chased us out of the house. Now, did you hear anybody or did you read anybody saying they put them in a hotel and after that they chased them out? No. Those in the hotel are probably those who just went there for business and they have been staying in the hotel. And then they say, since last night, we have been sleeping outside. The businessman Lunde Ogunlunje Isidore from Democratic Republic of Congo said, they came to my house. They told me to wait after 24 hours for the result. But after 24 hours, nobody contacted me. You see, these are not even Nigerians. But look at them. And your government, Abike Debre, that is speaking according to her, whatever diaspora she is, nobody knows because somebody like us don't even know her. And she they contacted her, the channel television, she lied. She lied as a woman. The dignity she have as a woman, she can't just protect it. She opened her mouth and lie. Now, listen to her again.
With the numbers compared, they will be brought back home. Don't circulating videos. You don't know where those videos were recorded. So I don't give in to social media bullying. No reporter to the commission, but telling you from the mission there, the mission in Guangzhou, let them go there, register their names, show their documents and all that, and register properly. And then the Nigerian mission in Guangzhou will liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and bring them back. Names are already being compassed. They're on the street. Are they supposed to be on the streets walking around in China? No. You're not supposed to be moving about in groups. You're supposed to be in your homes. They are walking around. If they have...
You say, are they supposed to be walking around in China? People that have been evicted from their homes. Not that they were staying illegal there. They paid rent. Like you see the person from Congo. These are not just Nigerians alone. But now Nigerians are facing this discrimination in China. And what did Nigeria government that this Abike Debre is talking for now, what did they do? They went and import Chinese doctors. And they came with equipment. How much is the equipment the doctors came with? $100,000 worth of equipment from all the billions that they have gotten from Nigeria. All the billions of dollars they have looted from Nigeria. They came, 15 of them, and they came with equipment, $100,000 worth of equipment. They came with coronavirus. Like Nnamdi Kanu say, nobody must send any Chinese doctor to Biafra land. Anything that happens to him or that person, the government should give account of it. Now, watch this. That is, by the way, number one, Abike Debre, the one that speak, I don't know what her position is in Nigeria government, but at least the name shows Abike Debre or something. She lied on channel television. That is number one. Number two, Nnamdi Kanu mentioned something about Amechi. He mentioned something about Amechi and mentioned something about Nigeria journalists. And he played the audio and you listened. Now, I am here to give you the evidence of what Nnamdi Kanu said about the Amechi and what he said about the Nigerian news media. Now, watch.
Muhammadu Buhari and the APC saying a lot of Nigerians are suffering has generated a lot of controversies.
Buhari.
The recent audio, which has been trending, which claims that the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, criticized President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC, saying a lot of Nigerians are suffering, has generated a lot of controversies.
Buhari, everybody's crying. President are crying, farmers are crying, workers are crying, politicians are crying, students are crying. 3 years old. The rate of poverty is very high. People are hungry.
I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention because there is something that he said here. And the next person you are going to watch now is a journalist who claimed to be present, who claimed to be among the journalists that were present during when Amechi was making this statement. And after listening, you will shed tears. The level of rottenness, even among the journalists in Nigeria. And that is what I want to prove to you today, after Nnamdi Kanu's claim. Now watch.
Nigeria will be right here. President is not listening to anybody. He doesn't care. He can write it on the right. President doesn't care. But see, he will read, he will laugh. He will say, come and see, they are abusing me here. In fact, there was one case of somebody in Odisha, a trader, who couldn't sell his goods during Salah. And I was with the guy in the plane. And the man was busy abusing Buhari because of the other this. He said, come, I mean, she wants my business with Odisha goat seller. This country is going nowhere. Even if you divide the country into 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking.
Did you hear that? Amechi said even if you divide the country into 10, it will not change. But that's a lie. That's a very fat lie. The one that is going to go to Biafra will change. We are going to prove him wrong when the time comes. He said even if you divide the country into 10, it will not change. Now watch. Listen.
The country to 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking. Even if you divide the country to 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking. When Magnus was my SSG, I told him this country is hopeless and helpless.
Today,
Hopeless and helpless. Now, you want to see the journalist now. This is where you are going to get a very big heart broken here. Now watch.
Voice TV has one of the journalists who was at the meeting. Let us hear his take. Is it true that the audio...
Look at the stomach infrastructure. Call himself a journalist. Look at what is going to be coming out from his mouth.
was doctored?
Listen.
Yes, the audio was doctored because we were at that meeting. I think I was the person that even asked.
What is doctor? What is audio being doctored? Is the voice Amechi voice or not Amechi? What does it mean by audio being doctored? Is somebody speaking on behalf of, like, trying to speak as Amechi speaking? What does he mean by audio is doctored?
The question. And the question I asked the minister then was that, considering the effort of the current administration, that does it think Nigeria can become better? And he said, and he began to give a narrative. He talked about the era of free money being gone, that those days people would...
Any place you see this journalist in Nigeria, he is a very corrupt individual. This man that is talking here, he is just as corrupt as any other politician in Nigeria. Why would a journalist be talking in this way? And he went to school to become journalist. And this is what Nnamdi Kanu was talking about. This is a very good example of the journalist Nnamdi Kanu was talking about in Nigeria. Listen to him.
Just go to a government office, and for political experiences, they'll be giving 50,000, they'll be giving 100,000, and they will take that money home, give 10,000 to their wife, give another 10,000 to their drivers, use another 10. They'll just distribute the money to settle domestic issues, and those who they have given the money will also take it to the markets and then spend it. So he was painting a scenario of how the money trickles down from government down to the poorest, the basic of Nigerian. And he said that right now, what the current government has done is that the current government has ensured that the era of free money is over, that you have to work for your money, and people do not have any opportunity to now dip their hands into government treasuries. And he now added that, look at, because of that, just 3 years, everybody is saying there's hunger in the land. The traders are saying there's hunger. The farmers are saying there's hunger because there's no longer free money. That President Mohamed Buhari will not condone people dipping their hands into government purse to touch free money. But if you remember that the audio which was put on the internet, that first part of the narrative was cut out, and the only part that was brought out was the part where he said there's hunger in the land, that the people are complaining, that there's no money and the rest. So it is very clear that the people who did it, they did it out of mischief because they wanted to score a certain point. I'm not a politician. I'm a journalist who happened to be at that meeting, who happened to witness the proceedings, who happened to listen to the minister speak. I'm not speaking for the minister. He has his press people to speak for him. But I think that for some of us who were at that meeting, we owe Nigerians to tell them the truth, that this was exactly the statement that was made at that meeting. So if certain people are releasing these audio clips and cutting certain parts so that certain parts of that audio will connote a different meaning, and they want to sell to Nigerians that this was what was said, then we have to absolutely stand up right now for truth, not because we want to support any political party, not because we want to support any political candidate, but because we are there. We have to come out to say this was exactly what transpired and this was exactly what happened. That is why some of us will continue to say that the audios were doctored. For those of them who have the audio, let them do Nigeria the Nigerians a great service by releasing the full audio clips, not just 20 seconds, not just 40 seconds, because the minister talked for over 3 minutes. Let them release the full audio clip so that Nigerians can decide if indeed he said these statements or not.
Thank you.
Have you people seen it? So I am telling you today, any place you see this journalist, know that he's the biggest fraudster in Nigeria journalism. Now, what has whether they doctored the video or the audio, whether they cut the part where the Amechi was explaining, what has he got to do with the fact that, one, the president doesn't listen to anybody. Two, if you divide Nigeria into 10, it can never change. 3, that people are suffering and the president doesn't care. 4, that he is going to build a university in Meduguri or where, and one in his house. What? Now, listen to the audio again. No, listen to the audio again. And this is what Nnamdi Kanu was lamenting about this evening. And this journalist you watch here is a very big example of what he was talking about. Now, let us see that audio in a different way.
If you publish it, you will never see it 3 years of.
Now, first of all, remember, this guy said that journalist told you on camera that if the media caught or the doctored, whether they nursed or midwifed or they doctored it, I think doctor is more, because the midwife would be the lower. Sorry. Oh my God, you can't talk about these people because of the evil and lies in them without laughing. So, sorry. Now, the doctored video or the doctored audio now, listen to where Amechi is going to start. Listen. Let me say it because the audio may be very low. Amechi said, do not publish this thing. If you publish it, I will not invite you again. So that makes that journalist a very big liar and fraud. Because if Amechi did not say it, he will not say, don't publish this. Do you understand that? That makes that journalist in fact, anything from that journalist, mark his name, search for him, search for anything he is reporting from today. All Biafrans must not pay attention. Mark him as a fraud journalist. Now watch.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, they will never.
Amechi said, these are not things you publish. So if he did not say all these things, he will not come to tell you these are not things you publish. Now listen again.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, you will never speak with me again.
You say if you publish it, you will never speak with me again. Do you understand that?
3 years of Buhari, everybody died.
Which means that journalist lied because Amechi just started that conversation. From this audio, 2 minutes, 4 seconds, he started that conversation by saying, this thing I'm about to say, don't record it. Don't record it. If you record it, I will not invite you again to interview me. Which means he was just starting that in this particular conversation. So that journalist is a very big fraudster in Nigeria journalism. Now watch again. Amechi said, this one I'm about to say, don't record it, otherwise I will not invite you again. Meaning the conversation has just started.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it,
these are not things you publish.
you will never speak with me again.
If you publish it, you will never speak with me again.
3 years of Buhari.
He started 3 years of Buhari.
Everybody's dying, crying.
Everybody's crying.
Farmers are crying.
Farmers are crying.
Workers are crying.
Students are crying. 3 years old.
Rate of poverty is very high. People are hungry.
Rate of poverty is very high. Rate of poverty is very high. Does it correlate with that, what that journalist was saying? that the rate of poverty is very high. Is it a lie? And does it correlate now to what that journalist just said, opened his mouth and said now? Amechi said people are crying, workers are crying, rate of poverty is very high. Does that correlate to fighting corruption? Now watch and listen.
Actually, so you should learn to gossip with your you should learn to gossip with us because you chose to do that with us, and we appreciate it. I've written to the governor of Katsina. I don't know why I'm not replying. To give us land in Daura for the university.
I have talked to the governor of Katsina State to give us land in Daura for the university. Does this look like something that somebody doctored so that to bring? So why is somebody doctoring it? Something that he started conversation straight away. Watch and listen.
That's fine. So university in Daura. The next university will be my village.
One university in Daura, the next university will be in my village. How does this connect to somebody doctoring and trying to make a cheap political point from the mouth of a journalist in Nigeria?
That's a transportation to me. Why are you laughing now? All of you are graduates of
You see, they are laughing. They are laughing. He's telling them that they shouldn't be laughing now. All of them are graduates. And they are laughing. And these people laughing now, one of these journalists that are laughing is the one you just watch now, talking from the stomach infrastructure. That is one of them because he was there laughing. And he laughed. He before he went to that camera to talk, he has collected brand envelope from Amechi.
The common saying is that when we are small, charity begins where? My own begin abroad. The president is not listening to anybody.
The president is not listening to anybody. The president is not listening to anybody.
He doesn't care. You can write it if you want to write. President doesn't care.
He said you can write it. He said, in fact, he even said you can write it if you want to write it. He doesn't care. He said the president doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't care. In fact, you can write it if you want to write it.
Does he will read, he will laugh. He say, come and see, they're abusing me here. In fact, there was one case of somebody in Odisha, a trader, who couldn't sell his goods during Salah. And I was with a guy in the plane. And the man was busy abusing Buhari because of Buhari not buying his. He said, come, I mean, what's my business with Odisha goat seller? This country will change. I swear. Nothing can, this country can change. Everybody's killed.
He said this country will not change, I swear, unless everybody is killed. And if anybody is going to get killed to get Biafra or get any country that is going to come out of Biafra, Amechi will be one of them. Because they are the ones, they are the evil in that country. So if anybody deserves to die for Nigeria to get better, for Biafra to actualize, it is people like all the politicians in Nigeria today. But look at what he said. And this is the person that is representing you. This is the official in Nigeria. That he opened his mouth to say, Nigeria can never get better unless everybody is killed. Did you hear that? Let me play it again. I didn't say it.
Everybody's killed. Nothing can change. Everybody's killed.
Yeah, that, unless everybody is killed.
This country is going nowhere.
This country is going nowhere, I swear. This is a minister. This country is going nowhere, I swear. This country is going nowhere, I swear. Will you look at today, Nigeria, and say that Amechi have lied? Will you? This was January 2019. Will you look at January or March or April now 2020 and say that he lied? Will you say he lied? Or will you say that somebody just doctored the voice, that Nigeria is now a better place than what it was in 2019 January? Will you say he lied here? He didn't lie. He is actually part of the government. His own is that so long as there is money for his family and himself, anything goes. And that is everything they know about is them and their family. So long as their family are okay. So long as he is feeding to hell with every Nigerian. That is what the body language and from the context he's analyzing Nigeria is, that everybody should go to hell so long as he have food for himself and the family.
Even if you divide the country into 10, it will still not change.
Yeah. Even if you divide the country into 10, it will not. It will still not change. But that is where he got it wrong, because Biafra is coming to lay the foundation of the beginning of civilization in Africa.
I'm not joking. When Magnus was my SSG, I told him this country is hopeless and helpless.
The country is hopeless and helpless. That was what he told his SSG. He told his SSG that the country is hopeless and helpless.
So that's topic now. Coming from the governor, nobody saying that. When 2 months in a...
He said that, and that is coming from, and that was coming from from a governor, and nobody will believe that.
So that this country is hopeless and helpless. And so right, you say you're right. The only thing in Abuja is share money. They don't work.
He said when he became the governor, he said that the country is hopeless and helpless, and the only thing they do in Abuja is share money. This is from Amechi. And then after listening to this, you will now come to this. You will now come to listen to this man.
These people will just go to a government office, and for political experiences, they'll be given 50,000, they'll be given 100.
Today, Voice TV has one of the journalists who was at the meeting. Let us hear his take. Is it true that the audio was doctored?
Yes, the audio was doctored because...
Did you hear that?
We were at that meeting. I think I was the person that even asked the question. And the question I asked the minister then was that, considering the effort of the current administration, that does it think Nigeria can become better? And he said, and he began to give a narrative.
You see why the journalists in Nigeria have contributed to the state, the rottenness in Nigeria today. Journalists have become the biggest corruption. They contribute 80% of corruption in Nigeria. And that was what Nnamdi Kanu was talking about this evening. Did you see that? Did you see somebody who is a journalist wake up in the morning with stomach infrastructure and the stomach, like look at his stomach, like Femi Adesina, because he come here and start lying like this, knowingly, to lie, so that he can get money from Amechi, nothing else. And believe me, Amechi cannot pay him more than 50,000 for this. And that is how he sold his conscience. For peanut, he sold his conscience. And guess what? This video is not going to end here. This video will haunt him the rest of his life. This video you see I'm playing this evening, it is going to haunt this journalist till the end of his life, unless he repents. Because we will remind him, because I know at least he's not a Fulani man. He's not a Fulani man. Nigeria is disintegrating very soon. So wherever he's going to fall, whichever country is going to fall in, this video will haunt him in future.
He talked about the era of free money being gone. That those days people would just go to a government office, and for political experiences they'll be given 50,000, they'll be given 100,000, and they will take that money home, give 10,000 to their wife, give another 10,000 to their drivers, use another 10. They'll just distribute the money to settle domestic issues, and those who they have given the money will also take it to the markets and then spend it. So he was painting a scenario of how the money trickles down from government down to the poorest, the basic of Nigerian. And he said that right now, what the current government has done is that the current government has ensured that the era of free money is over, that you have to work for your money, and people do not have any opportunity to now dip their hands into government treasuries. And he now added that, look at, because of that, just 3 years, Everybody is saying there's hunger in the land. The traders are saying there's hunger. The farmers are saying there's hunger because there's no longer free money. That President Mohamed Buhari will not condone people dipping their hands into government purse to touch free money. But
what you are listening to now, is there anything like related to what this guy is saying to what you hear from the Amechi voice? There is nothing. There is no. In fact, I don't know where he thought that the audio has been wiped out of the internet. Maybe that's, you know, these journalists in Nigeria, most of them are so primitive. Because you cannot be telling me that this guy is a journalist, a digital journalist, and he didn't know that the audio is somewhere. At least he could make his own forensic analysis of audio to know where he will start his lie from. Whether he will start the lie from the middle or whether he will start the lie from the beginning. No, he don't do that because he's an analog journalist. Because if he's a digital journalist, he will not be talking like this. This is the biggest shame I have seen in Nigeria journalism. Because what he's talking out of point, totally out of point. It is not even related to what Amechi was. Amechi started by saying, "This don't publish what I am saying." So how does that relate to this explanation he's giving here? Unbelievable. That is how corrupt they are. I will not even go further to play this video again. The next thing I am about to show you, is this. You remember when Nnamdi Kanu mentioned, now watch this.
Please say you are phenomenal in Nigeria's political landscape. How will you describe yourself personally? Who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Who is Muhammadu Buhari? For those of you who listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's broadcast, this is the video. This is the video. So it is not so that they will not tell you to, they will not write tomorrow that he doctored the audio that he played. He doctored it. So I'm bringing to you now the video. So that, but of course, most of you must have watched the video. Most of you must have watched this video, but you have to watch it again. Because I told you, this live video is a backup of what Nnamdi Kanu said today. I have come to bring the proofs to you, so you can see them. It is not going to be audio or hearsay. This is the proof, and we are Biafrans.
Well, I like... Some simply say you are phenomenal in Nigeria's political landscape. How will you describe yourself personally? Who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I like to start by praising teachers of my generation.
Did you hear that? They asked somebody, who are you? Who are you? Who is Muhammad Buhari? He started by attacking the teachers of... Sorry. He started by attacking the teachers... He started by attacking the teachers of his generation. Yes, sorry. He started by attacking the teachers of his generation. Who is Muhammad Buhari? Because the point Nnamdi Kanu is trying to prove to you is that this man is not Buhari. And so when you are not Buhari, how can you tell something about Buhari? What do you want to tell about somebody you are not? When you are not somebody, it will be difficult to you for you to tell something about somebody you don't know. You are only if you are like mimicking the person or talking like the person, like double, you know. Of course, you will be double in the voice and the mask if you are wearing mask. But there is the one that is the most difficult one you cannot double. You cannot double the person as in explaining who you are. That is what you cannot double. And that is where they get him. And then Nnamdi Kanu played this audio today. Now I'm bringing the video to you. You can double anybody once you have mask that have the person's mask. You can double the voice. You see the comedian in Nigeria. during this coronavirus speech, when Nigeria was bombarding the presidency to come and give speech, that comedian went and give speech. And when people started sharing the video that Buhari has finally addressed Nigeria, a lot of people don't even know that guy is not Buhari. A lot of people were watching the video. I was a place I come across the video. People were commenting that, but this is not Buhari. But this, like, you know, they are like, but this person is not Buhari. They didn't even know that that guy who is mimicking Buhari in Nigeria is not Buhari. And the guy sat in a place, in office like Buhari's office, and addressed Nigeria on this coronavirus. And the video went viral. So some Nigerians, for real, some Nigerians were arguing that, this is not Buhari now, but this guy doesn't look like Buhari now. And if you really argue with them that it is Buhari, they will believe you. They will believe you. But they say, but this guy is too young. This is not Buhari. Because he mimic Buhari. He talks like Buhari. So if he has mask, that's Buhari mask, for example, that guy will come and be Buhari, and nobody will ever notice that he's not Buhari. I don't know his name. That comedian. He mimic Buhari, and he talks perfectly like Buhari. So if you have mask of Buhari, you can never in your life believe he is not Buhari. So even when he don't have mask, some people are doubting, but this guy doesn't look, but is this Buhari? No, this cannot be Buhari. And they were arguing it. It becomes argument on social media. Now, the question is, who is Muhammad Buhari? He cannot explain that. He started by attacking the teachers of his generation. Do you understand from the context? He was thanking the teachers of the generation of Buhari that groomed Buhari. Do you understand? He want to thank the teacher of the generation of Buhari that groomed Buhari and made Buhari what Buhari was. That was the idea of that response. Now listen to it again.
You cannot accommodate criminals in your neighborhood and start blaming government, glibly blaming government that nothing is being done. People are deliberately stopping government from doing anything.
You have been described differently by different people. Man of integrity, man of honor, incorruptible. Some simply say you are phenomenal in Nigeria's political landscape. How will you describe yourself personally? Who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I like to start by praising teachers of my generation.
Teachers of my generation.
9 years in boarding school.
Did you hear that? He spent 9. Let me play, because this is very interesting part.
I like to start by praising teachers of my generation. I spent 9 years in boarding school.
I spent 9 years in boarding school.
3 years in primary boarding and
3 years in primary boarding. Do you have boarding in primary like in those years? It is time for our elderly our grandfathers to come and tell us, do you have boarding school? Do you have boarding school in primary? Do you study primary school 3 years and you have boarding school during the time of Buhari in primary school? It is time for clarification. Or we need sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God. So do you people have 3 years primary boarding in Nigeria during the time Buhari claimed to be in primary school?
I spent 9 years in boarding school.
He spent 9 years in boarding school.
3 years in primary boarding.
3 years in primary boarding.
and 6 secondary school. Now I
And 6, did he say 6 secondary school? Sorry?
generation. I spent 9 years in boarding school, 3 years in primary boarding, and 6 secondary school. Now I
He said 6 secondary school. What did he mean by that? This is another one. Oh. He says 6 secondary school. 6 secondary school. 6 secondary school.
of my generation. I spent 9 years in boarding school, 3 years in primary boarding, and 6 secondary school. Now I think they do 5 years or 4.
He said 6 secondary school. Chineke me. Chineke. He said 6 secondary school. And now they do 5 or 4. Let us watch, let us listen to it again. This is interesting.
Nigeria's political landscape. How will you describe yourself personally? Who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I like to start by praising teachers of my generation. I spent 9 years in boarding school, 3 years in primary boarding, and 6 secondary school. Now I think they do 5 years or 4. I don't know how many years.
Oh my goodness. Your president don't know how many years you study your secondary school in your country. In the country, he's a president. Ogula. Church Abasago. Your president don't know how many years your secondary schools are studying, how many years you go to secondary school in the country he is a president. Church Abasa. Hey, listen to it again.
I spent 9 years in boarding school, 3 years in primary boarding, and 6 secondary school. Now I think they do 5 years or 4. I don't know how many.
Hey, your president don't know how many years. You see, Church Abasago, this one alone will confirm that he is actually from Sudan. Because you know in Sudan, they may have a different system. They may have a different system in Sudan. Nobody know. Are you aware? Do you know how many years they study in Sudan? Because you know some countries have different system. So he don't know how many years you study secondary school in Nigeria. And he is the president of the country supervising education, Ministry of Education, and appointing ministers of those who are Minister of Education and all that. And do you know what? They come to brief him. They come to brief him. So which means the Minister of Education has never communicated with this man. Probably communicating with Abba Kaire and the other cabals, but not with him. Because if they are communicating with him, so you mean that all this while, all these years he has been a president, he has never come across JAMB. He has never come across SSEE. He has never come across any document that shows how many years you are going to study secondary school in Nigeria. Hey! Unbelievable. And this is the man ruling 200 million brilliant Nigerians that scattered all over the world. Some of them are even professors, lecturers in prestigious university around the world. Look at your president. Your president don't know how many years you go to secondary school in your country. Shame! Chai! I didn't even know this. Chai! I didn't know this until now. Your president don't know how many years you go to school, how many years your secondary school you go in your own country. And when we talk, let him come with NEPA bill. We are okay with NEPA bill. Look at where NEPA bill have taken you today. He knows absolutely nothing because he is not a Nigerian. He is not a Nigerian. Even ordinary nursery school pupils you see today, they know how many years you study, you go to secondary school in Nigeria. Look at the shame. And all the people like the Garba who said the other day that they are happy with the president, that the president have a lot of people working for him, and they are happy. Why would they not be happy? When fire is burning the Accountant General office because of the billions that they have stolen from the coronavirus, fire is burning there. So why would they not be happy? Why would they not be happy for a man that doesn't even know the paper and the document he is signing? How would they not be happy? Hi, are you not going to be happy if it is you? Of course, those who are evil, who believe in looting the natural resources of other people to feed their stomach and sponsor terrorism, they will be happy. And that is why Garuba Shehu is happy parading himself as the advisor, special assistant to the president on media and publicity. At least he has appointed Garuba Shehu. So Garuba Shehu know how many years you can study secondary school. You can go to secondary school in Nigeria. Once Garuba Shehu answered that question, president have answered it. Chai. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yourself personally, who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I like to start by praising teachers of my generation. I spent 9 years in boarding school, 3 years in primary boarding, and 6 secondary school. Now I think they do 5 years or 4, I don't know how many years. The teachers then, they were treating children and students like their own children. If you do well as a student, they praise you in the classroom and in the assembly hall, which is held daily.
And that is Buhari. That is who Buhari is. When you do well, who Buhari is that teacher were treating their student as their own. That is who Buhari is. The Buhari is that teacher were treating the student as their own. When you do well, teacher will treat you as your own. That is sorry. That is who Buhari is. Buhari is when you do well, teacher treat you good in the 60s.
6 times a week. If you misbehave, you will be flogged in front of your class or in the whole assembly hall. So the best out of you is brought physically and academically. You have to be well to survive. You have to do well, be doing well to survive. I was a class monitor. I was a junior prefect. I was a senior prefect. I was a head boy. I earned all those.
Was a senior prefect a head boy?
But without good teachers, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
So who is Muhammadu Buhari?
Okay. Oh, sorry. So after all this answer, the journalist was not satisfied. Because of course the journalist was believing that he was talking to Buhari. This journalist was believing that he was talking to Buhari. So after telling the history of this school, he was just struggling to, because the question comes. So when you are struggling like this, you will be thinking, because he's a young man, He's a young man, so he has to be thinking. He has to be thinking until he puts something together. So after making this whole blabbing, the journalist didn't get. He was not actually satisfied. So Al-Buhari, sorry, Al-Buhari was believing that he has made success. So the journalist now come back to say journalist, please pardon me. The journalist finally come back to ask again. So who is Muhammad Buhari? Now once again.
I think I went through hell throughout my career in the military.
Okay, he continued.
I was a lieutenant in Lagos during the first coup, 15th January 1966. And
You see. Now, this is the part he was actually cramming, because when he came back, when they brought him from London, do you remember when they brought him from London? They started introducing the cabinet to him. They mention name of this one. They mention name of that one. They tell him this is this person, this is that person, this is that person. Have you people seen those videos? I will bring the video. I will make it available. They were introducing all the cabinets to him when he came back from London. They say this is minister of this is minister of that, this is minister of that, and then they claim that he lost his memory. That was a claim. Of course, we understood all those again. So they were introducing. Now, you remember in that same manner, they brought pictures of Buhari and gave to him. Do you remember what he did in those pictures? He was showing somebody the picture. When he opened the picture, he said, this is me from 19 this to 19 that. Do you know why they gave that pictures to him? Do you know why they gave the picture album to him? That have Buhari and the date, and the date is for him to understand and cram the year he was general in the army. And that is exactly what he's using here now. Does that make sense? When he came back from London, after they introduced the cabinet, they gave him the pictures album of the Buhari's military time. And he was going through those albums, and you see him Buhari in military uniform, and in each picture, it has the year in that picture. And what he was doing, the essence of giving him the picture of Buhari was to cram the date he went to the army, because he know the question will come one day. And now he remembered that he was a general in the army. Now watch.
And I know what I went through in front of your class or in the whole assembly hall. So the best out of you is brought physically and academically. You have to be well to survive. You have to do well, be doing well to survive. I was a class monitor. I was a junior prefect. I was a senior prefect. I was a head boy. I earned all those. And I know what I went through. But without good teachers, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
So who is Muhammad Buhari?
I think I went through hell throughout my career in the military. I was a lieutenant in Lagos during the first coup, 15th January 1966. And
please, those who think that my laughing have spoiled the broadcast, I don't care what you think. This is the way I communicate with my people, and those who understand the importance of this broadcast are enjoying it. If you are not happy with the way I laugh, you can just excuse yourself from my page. This is only for Biafrans, those who are ready to listen, and our Biafra is more important. You cannot tell me not to laugh when I'm seeing a ghost talking and I am seeing a fraud that has deceived over 200 million Nigerians, including you, that have written that my laughing have spoiled the broadcast. You can go elsewhere to get yourself enlightened about the situation of Nigeria. You cannot tell me not to laugh on my page, because this is the biggest scam in human history. And you think it is not funny? It is funny, because you that is writing this thing cannot go tomorrow and stand on the street of Nigeria or Abuja to call a spade, not even in your Facebook page. To call a spade. Until you begin to do that, I will give you the audience of not laughing. But for the meantime, you cannot tell me that a man who is parading himself as a president of your country, and whenever we come to talk, most of you are the one to attack, that you want him. You forgot in 2015, we warned you people about the real Buhari. We warned you about the APC. Of course, I thank God, because today, it is the thing that is bringing Biafra very fast. So, if I am a human being, I am not a robot, and nobody can tell me whether or not to laugh on my own page. That is how you people will be correcting when you are not supposed to correct. You see, you cannot question your senator, you cannot question your governor, you cannot question your president, you cannot tell the boss of DSS not to do certain things. But when we are trying to open your eye, that is where you see fault. Everywhere is fault. Don't laugh. Don't bend mouth. Don't change your voice. Don't do this. Don't do that. But people who are putting you into poverty, you have never for one day called them and say, stop doing this. But people who are here to liberate you with our time and our resources, no, don't do it that way. Don't abuse. Don't talk. Don't shout.
Further about Nigerian history, you read coup, counter coup, civil war, coup, counter coup. I was all in it, including in detention for 3.25 years. So I'm fully qualified, as a suffering Nigerian.
So, Your Excellency, Nigerians would like to know whether there's anything secret behind the remarkable way and manner people show you love, respect, and trust consistently since joining partisan politics in 2002 for free.
Well, I thank Nigerians for putting me under the microscope and seeing the way I came through. They knew I was a governor, now 6 states. I was in petroleum for 3.25 years. I was a military head of state. Then I joined partisan politics when the uniform was removed from me. I tried 3 times, ending up in Supreme Court 3 times. And then I won 2015. And now constitutionally, I won the last time, the 5th time. So really, for somebody who has been in the field for 20 years, from bottom to top, I think if Nigerians show respect or love for me, I'm grateful they appreciated my efforts.
So there's nothing secret about that?
There's no secret about it. The secret is that I try to survive. So all those who are trying to survive, they better continue trying harder. Eventually they will succeed. It's a question of trying harder and harder.
Finally, sir, recently you got some people confused when you visited Saudi Arabia.
Confused about what?
They saw you running.
Yes. Try and understand the performance of Hajj and Umrah. There is a certain place where we have to jog. That's all I was doing. I'm complying with the religious terms of doing the thing. And I'm begging God to lead me and make me succeed. And this is a place to do it. And I was doing it very hard.
They were wondering, how could the president be running like that?
Who is a president before God? It's just as ordinary as you.
Did you hear
We are
that?
all ordinary before
Nobody is
God.
a president before God. That's a very good one.
I'd like to say a very big thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for making it very hard for me.
Now,
And to our
now
team,
you have watched it
thanks
yourself.
for the company.
You have watched it yourself. You see, this person is not Buhari. This person is not Buhari. Now, there is something I want to show you now. Chinese, they are finally in Nigeria, according to them. Now, when Nnamdi Kanu made a broadcast and told you that where are all the doctors in Nigeria? Where are all the doctors? Where are all the professors in Nigeria? You see, Chinese team do in Nigeria despite hostility, and after they rejected their own doctors. They rejected their own doctors, the doctors that went to Nigeria school. The doctors that went to Nigeria school. This government, this terrorist government, they don't trust anybody. Do you know why? Because there is no Fulani doctor. How many Fulani doctors you have? Nigeria should tell us how many Fulani doctors that you have that can open somebody's womb or open somebody's stomach and do surgery. We want to know that kind of, because you don't have them in the health sector. So they don't trust anybody. They don't trust Yorubas. They don't trust Biafrans. They don't trust those Nigerians that are educated, those doctors from Nigeria. No. They have to go to China to bring 15 doctors against 200 million. Do you know the scam behind these 15 doctors? What can 15 doctors do over 200 million Nigerians? What can, do you know the 15 doctors? The 15 doctors from China will end up infecting them because these doctors will be taking care of them, not the poor people. So the good thing in this doctor is that they will be taking care of the senators and the governors, because 15 doctor over 200. If not for Christ's sake, we will begin to incite all the doctors in Nigeria to go on strike. We will begin to incite them, but because this is a general thing that will affect both the big and the small. If not, we will incite all the doctors to go on strike and never to participate anything in federal government, and we're capable of doing it. But because of the situation of this pandemic, because this is a very big insult and slap on Nigeria doctors who are performing wonders out of nothing. Doctors who are naturally gifted doctors, naturally talented doctors in Nigeria, who have performed wonders without equipment, without health equipment. They have been performing and saving lives without nothing. And now, when they should have pumped money and encouraged the Nigerian doctors, no. They are not enough. They have to go to China to bring people who are actually bringing the death to them. Because you see these people that just around Nigeria, you will see the way this coronavirus is going to spread. It's going to, you see all these things they brought to Nigeria. This coronavirus is going to spread. Now it is the beginning. But guess what? When Nnamdi Kanu said that Somali is going to be better than Nigeria, this is it here. When Nigeria is importing, or when Nigeria is importing doctors from China, Nigeria is importing doctors from China, Somali is exporting doctor to Italy. Somali, this Somali you see is exporting doctors to Italy to help Italians. Somali, look. Somali here. Somali sent 20 doctors to Italy to help in coronavirus fight. Even higher than the number they are getting from China. They get 15 doctors from China. Somali in Africa sending 20 doctors to European country. Isn't that a shame, one Nigeria people? Are you not ashamed of yourself, one Nigeria people? You see why we are shouting for Biafra? You see why we are preaching for Biafra? Somali, that Nnamdi Kanu told you that is going to be better than Nigeria. Is it not better than Nigeria now? They are exporting 20 doctors. And China is bringing 15 doctors to Nigeria. Meanwhile, Somali, of the war Somali, the shattered Somali, at the end of the day, in 2020, sending 20 doctors to Italy. Not sending, they already went, sent to Italy to help European country from North Africa. And you, giant of Africa, for nothing. Of course, the giant of Africa is out of it. I don't think anybody will be calling giant of Africa. Even Chad, if Chad can come, how many? Chad, they have 2 billion. The budget of Chad every year this year is $2 billion. Meanwhile, Nigeria budget for military, for the Ministry of Defense is $2.4 billion. You see the margin. Now, Chad came and killed Boko Haram, take their weapon, bring their dead body, their corpses, show it to the entire world, and Nigeria, nothing. Now, you import 15 doctors that you cannot trust. That is even the biggest problem, is that you cannot trust them. You cannot trust them. After the protest of Nigeria doctors, you went ahead to bring them. If not for one thing, we will incite all the doctors in Nigeria and they will go on strike. And we know how to do that game. But because of one thing, we will not do that. Otherwise, we will, I said, incite the doctors and they will go on strike. But because of one thing, because you people have put in the altar. How can you ignore Nigeria and ignore all the protests of Nigeria doctors and who are actually more talented than Chinese, but because of lack of governance, lack of responsible leaders who could make them the best in the world, you go and bring people. What is China? Bring China, 15 people to come to a country of over 200 million. Meanwhile, Somali is exporting 20 doctors. Ordinary Somali. And you are talking Nigeria. I told you people, what is coming to Nigeria, you see the economy going down. You see that audio that Nnamdi Kanu played. Did you see that audio? One moment. You don't see that audio that Nnamdi Kanu played about the man speaking. One moment. About that man speaking what is to come, what is going to befall Nigeria. Did you watch that audio? Watch. One moment. One moment. Because our own, when we do, we show you the proof.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, you never see 15 years. 3 years of Buhari, everybody's dying, right?
One moment, please. I'm sorry for the system somehow.
We're just beginning to confront the magnitude of the shock.
We are loaded. We are loaded. This is not.
Minds around.
We are loaded. We are loaded. This is not like this is the biggest movement. Biafra agitation is the biggest movement. Is the biggest movement in human history. You have never seen any country or indigenous people agitating for freedom that is like scattered all over the world. In their millions. In millions. Only Biafra. And that is why Biafra is going to be the biggest movement in human history. And once Biafra is restored, it will be the beginning of civilization in Africa. We are loaded.
Even as we're just beginning to confront the magnitude of the shock caused by this pandemic, we need to wrap our minds around a painful truth. We're in the early stages of what is going to become a series of cascading crises reverberating throughout the world, and we will not be able to get back to anything resembling normal life unless the major powers in the world can find some way to cooperate and manage these problems together. The first phase has been the healthcare crisis in the world's major economies. The next phase is the economic paralysis, the magnitude of which we are only just beginning to comprehend. In the last 2 weeks, America lost 10 million jobs, exceeding the 8.8 million total jobs lost over 106 weeks during the 2008 to 2010 recession. But this is just the beginning. Next up will surely be the danger of countries defaulting. Italy entered the crisis with the highest level of public debt of the Eurozone countries, and the third highest in the world. The country's debt will skyrocket now as it spends money to combat the economic fallout from COVID-19. Next come the explosions in the developing world. So far, the numbers of infected have been low in countries like India, Brazil, Nigeria, and Indonesia, probably because they're less linked by trade and travel than the advanced world. In addition, these countries have tested very few people, which is keeping their numbers artificially low. But unless we get lucky and it turns out that heat does temper the virus, these countries will all get hit, and hard. And then there are the oil states. Even if the quarrel between Saudi Arabia and Russia gets resolved, at this point, demand for oil has collapsed and will not soon recover.
Did you hear that? Demand for oil has collapsed and will not soon recover. And that's where Nnamdi Kanu mentioned about that it is going to hit Nigeria, or it may hit Nigeria very hard. That is the problem. Nigeria is about to witness the worst. Now listen.
Consider what that means for countries like Libya, Nigeria, Iran, Iraq, and Venezuela, where oil revenues make up the vast majority of government revenue.
Because Fulani cannot generate anything other than relying on economy, on the oil. Fulani cannot diversify Nigeria economy. Fulani cannot do anything other than relying and sucking and milking the natural resources from the southern part of Nigeria. When we were controlling, when we had this the federalism, that the old Eastern region was have the autonomy, then we are only relying on agriculture, palm fruit, palm oil. They were generating billions, trillions. And today, Fulani don't know how to build economy. The only thing they know is to destroy economy. They are evil, they are devil, they are satanic. They are the one who have come to kill, destroy, steal, and it is the word Bible called the devil. Devil have come to steal, kill, and destroy. And that is what Fulani represent. Today in Nigeria, as the oil price is going down, Nigeria is going down. As the oil price is going up, Nigeria is going down. Because oil price has gone up, Nigeria went down. Now it is going down, Nigeria is going down. And very soon, they will not see oil again. And then, probably by then, Nigeria must have been disintegrated because the revolution is coming. It is, in fact, the hunger will compel you to carry revolution in Nigeria. It is not hunger. You see hunger, when the hunger, because you know this is 21st century. You cannot just stay at home indoor and they will be bringing out the goods, the rice seized from Biafra businessmen. I heard that the custom, they have opened all the rice, the foreign rice they seized. Who were the importers? Igbos, Biafras. And they are using Biafra rice to feed Nigeria. The rice seized from the Biafra importers who are importing rice to Nigeria. When custom, out of wickedness, they seized those rice. Today, they are releasing the rice to feed Nigerians. To feed not even Nigeria, to feed the North. You see the video I showed today, where the guy was carrying the rice on his head. That is the rice seized from Biafrans by custom.
The vast majority of the economy expect political turmoil, refugees, revolutions, crackdown.
Did you hear that? He mentioned revolutions. And one thing about this is that when the revolution will come, you will not even know. Because it is starting already. You have shown you a video where people are bungering the local government food storage and taking food from there. When that food finish, they will go and bunger a different place. So the revolution is coming. And this revolution is going to come through hunger. Because how many guns how many are Nigerian military and Nigerian police? How many? In fact, even one place, one community can overpower them. How many are you going to kill? With how many rounds of ammunition? The revolution is coming, and the hunger will compel Nigeria will bring revolution in Nigeria. It is coming. And they will start sharing food until there is no food to share. And it is coming because nobody knows how long the coronavirus will stay in Nigeria. And nobody knows when, after the coronavirus is gone in Nigeria, what will be the economy of the country. So revolution is coming and you can't escape from it. But do you know what? The earlier you start the revolution, the better for you, because you need to start the revolution when you still have strength. You can't start a revolution when you have kwashoko, when you have been staffed to look like skeleton. Is that when you start to do the revolution? You have to do revolution when you are still eating now. Now you are still eating. Because believe me, by the middle of this month, you will be having the feeling of hunger. Before the middle of this month. Because staying at home and eating is not easy. In Africa, you eat heavy food. By the time you don't see heavy food to eat by the middle of this month or ending of this month, it will be showing from your ribs. Then you will know that you are in serious business. So for you if the revolution must happen in Nigeria, like it will be happening in other countries, not only in Nigeria, you have to start now that you still have strength. Not when you be walking like chaff, like breeze. The police will just wipe you with their koboko and whatever, and you fall, and that's the end. So the revolution must start now that you people are still bouncing a little bit. You are still bouncing. That is when the revolution will start, because this government will kill everybody. Like you see what Danjuma said. Danjuma said, if you do not rise up now to fight, you will all be killed. All. It was coming from a general in Nigerian army, not me. Danjuma said it.
Maybe terrorism. All of this might happen on a scale we haven't seen for decades. The world has entered this pandemic with two challenges. It is awash in debt, government and private. With a total global GDP of 90 trillion, public and private debt add up to 260 trillion. The world's two leading economies, the United States and China, have public and private debt to GDP ratios of 210% and 310%, respectively. Now, this would all be manageable if not for the second challenge. This crisis is occurring at a time when global cooperation has collapsed, and the traditional leader and organizer of such efforts, the United States of America, has abandoned that role entirely. Last month, the G7 meeting was not even able to issue a joint statement on the pandemic because the US refused to sign anything that did not label the disease the Wuhan virus, a dispute that sounds like something that comes out of high school. The centerpiece of any global effort would have to be close cooperation between the United States and China. Instead, that relationship is in free fall, with each side deflecting blame on itself by blaming the other. The follow-up to the G7, the G20 meeting, was also a dud. Even the European Union has been late to recognize the seriousness of this crisis, the most serious crisis in its existence. A rash statement by the head of the European Central Bank caused Italy's worst stock market crash in the country's history. Now, what would be achieved by greater global cooperation? Well, since so much of the containment strategy involves travel, it would be far more effective if travel bans and advisories were coordinated. During the 08-09 recession, central banks and governments worked with each other to help contain and dampen financial contagion. If countries like Iraq and Nigeria explode, the cost in refugees, disease, terrorism would all make us wish we had tried harder to manage their fall.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? If country like Nigeria explode, they know what is to come. Did you hear that guy? He said, if country like Nigeria explode, which they know it is exploding. If country like Nigeria explode, the crisis, the global crisis it will bring, the refugee, the terrorism, did you hear that? The terrorism, and this is why we are saying, come and divide and be part of dividing Nigeria, because if these people end up having our natural resources and our natural resources goes freely into the hand of terrorists in Nigeria, they will begin to sponsor terrorist attack in Europe. They will begin to sponsor terrorist attack in America. And by that time, it is going to be very late. The time to solve the problem of future terrorists, the powerful country that will be sponsoring terrorists against European, against America, is now. It is time to stop that from germinating and growing. Nigeria is going to be the country that will be sponsoring the biggest terrorist attack against European Union in future. And the only way to stop that is disintegrate Nigeria now, give Biafra freedom, let Biafra curtail whatever terrorist that is going to come up from the northern Nigeria, from Arewa Republic, and that will be the end. But if you don't do and participate in ending Nigeria, disintegrating Nigeria and giving freedom to Biafra, everybody will pay the price. It can take 20 years, but the price you will pay in Europe, the price you will pay in America, because the target is just to conquer the world. To conquer the world. It is not just about Biafra. So if you do not participate and stop this and end this thing that is building now in Nigeria, the Europe we pay, the America we pay, because when they get hold of our natural resources freely, even though they are controlling it by proxy now, when they get hold of it, by the time they get hold of our natural resources, you will see Europe will be on the biggest target, and you people will be under threat, because they will be sponsoring terrorist attack in Europe and in America. If they can do it now, they have done it before. You see, I will always mention him, Abdul Muttalib. Abdul Muttalib is a Nigerian. He was trained in Yemen. He is from a rich family in the north. He wanted to bomb American aeroplane. He scaled through from Nigeria airport, carrying bomb to explode in aeroplane, because that is what northern Nigerians are known for. So if you can now give entry ban, give traveling ban to Nigeria because of northern Nigeria, because of the terrorists of 5 different terrorist groups in northern Nigeria, and we are not part of it. That is why we are looking for Biafra. That is why we are looking for freedom, because we don't support terrorism. We are not terrorists. So if you, is either you participate in disintegrating Nigeria or continue to play politics and wait until they remember you. Now, my next thing I want to show you, one moment. One moment. So, like you know, today you know that Somali has sent 20 doctors to Italy. Why Nigeria importing Chinese? And doctors in Nigeria protested. They kicked against it. They don't want it. And again, you see, this is them. This is your one Nigeria. Senators kicked as Accountant General failed to explain 2.9 billion IPPS fund. Did you see that? Now, you will be asking, all of you see as the fire was burning the office, this is them. They cannot explain anything. They cannot explain, they don't know how to explain or do their job. I told you people that what they do is give them this position, bring Yorubas and Biafrans to come and do the work for them. That is what they do in Nigeria. So, the people that will be doing work for this Fulani slaves, they will employ you, and they will be the one in charge of the sector, of that particular sector, and then they will be embezzling all the money there, looting all the money there, and then you from Yoruba will be the one to be defending their impunity, their scam, and their atrocities. That is your job. Your job is to defend them. Your job is to defend their impunity and scam. That is your job. And we are telling you it is time that stops in your life. You cannot continue to do. One moment. You know, sometimes they will be attacking our broadcast. The message is being passed. That is the most important thing. No matter how they attack our... No matter how they attack us, I'm sorry, the thing is taking a little bit of time. Yes. Now, look at this. The Senate Public Account Committee adjourned abruptly on Tuesday following the inability of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation to give details of the integrated payroll and personal information system. Did you see that? This is the second time the office is burning. Fire. Anytime they ask them to give account, the office fire will engulf the office. And this is what Fulanis are known for. And do you want to read the news? Let me read it. Let me continue. Just a few lines. This IPPIS is an information communication technology project initiated by the federal government of Nigeria to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of payroll administration for its ministries, departments, and agencies. The Accountant General was not available to answer an audit query raised against his office, But his representative, who is a director in his office, and do you know what the name is? The name of his representative, Adiro Emmanuel, was unable to answer. You see? You see? He sent a person called Adiro Emmanuel. When you listen to what the name is, Adiro Emmanuel, you know he is from the southern part of Nigeria. They are the one that is managing the crisis. When the crisis comes, they send you, who are brilliant, from the south, from the southern part of Nigeria, to go and help them. And even as that, this Adiro Emmanuel cannot answer the question raised by the Senate. And every attempt to get to this Accountant General proved abortive, because he don't know what to do as a Fulani man. His name is Mohammed something or whatever. You see? But you from the south is the one that is doing the work. Like I have said it before. You will be the one to prepare everything, and they will just sign. And they will sit and be taking the glory. Glory of your brain. Glory of your brain. And even as that, they will still fail. You see? Even as that, they will still what? Fail. Now, I have to stop here because the system is behaving like Buhari. The system is behaving like Buhari. It's like Buhari spirit has entered it. So we have watched. When you are sharing this video, tag hashtag IPOB, hashtag freedom or free Biafra, hash 2020 March. We want to see that everywhere in social media all over the world will be flooded with Biafra. So anytime you are sharing posts, whether you are IPOB member or not, so long as you are Biafra, so long as you want freedom, hashtag IPOB, hashtag free Biafra, hashtag 2020 March. 2020 March. Thank you. And it is time to use my 1 minute. Like you see, I am not sleeping. I am not sleeping. This is a very exceptional time in our life to be part of Biafra struggle. We have to give all. We have to give all. We have to give all. Where we are living, where we reside today, people sacrifice their life. So I will be, so that most of us will come and learn how to run country, learn how to impact life. So people fought and died for the country, for this Europe, for this America that a lot of people are enjoying. A lot of people died for them. So we are coming to liberate Africa. We are liberating you, Biafrans. Nigeria is disintegrating, and it will happen in our time. Thank you for being part of this broadcast. William Aja, this is very late, and all of you are live. William Aja, my own William, thank you for staying this late. Johnny West, thank you. Prince Douglas, Stephen Obianuju, Obigaju, thank you. Olise, thank you. Parker Charles, thank you. Ugo Ndo for staying this late. Mike, thank you. Felix Ekemezie, thank you. Thank you. Victor Moore, thank you. Uchenna Justin, I see you. Thank you, Eze Chinedu. Thank you for watching me. Yes, my own William, no problem. Helen Nwafo Uzoma, thank you for being with me this evening. Anye Bunam Olise. Bro Ezi, I see you, bro Ezi. I see you, my own Ezi. Thank you. Teresa Ngozi Obiako, thank you. James Roberts, thank you. Victor Ike, thank you for staying this late. Chinonso Obiagu, thank you for staying this late. Ikenna Okbalane, do thank you. James Machao Funa, thank you. Elias Debra, thank you for staying and watching up till this time. Omenu Kwaku, the youngest, thank you. Edebo Ifulanya, thank you. Ken, also thank you. Flash Chelsea, thank you. Victor Nwonu, thank you for watching. Tony Urunwa, thank you. Sen Ngwois, thank you. Boy, Sin Boy, thank you. Watching from Swiss. Ndudu Ume, thank you for staying this late. Great Biafrans, yes, I see you. Jiros Ajiri, thank you. Felix Ibeameze, thank you. Remigus Ifani Duru, Zeribe, Ezeribe, thank you. Capital Solution, OG, Donald Alhupwe, thank you. Ancestor Nteje, thank you. Lucky Agwene, thank you. Eze Chinedu, Samuel Chukuka, you all are wonderful. Thank you for watching me this evening series. Barry, O.C. Gabriel, yes, Williams, watching from, William, where are you watching from? Samatex Chooks, thank you. Charles Joe, thank you. Prince Omo Jesus, Boniface Adimora, thank you. Bayam Rob, thank you. Watching from Dubai. Yes, I see you, bro. Ezi, I'm going to check messages. Thank you. Uchena Ezeje, thank you. Ken also, Victor Ike. Now I have to sleep. See you again as we continue the preaching and creating the awareness for Nigeria disintegration and freedom of Biafra. It is for your future. It is for your own good. Share this video. Invite your friends. William Aja from Texas. Yes, I remember. Thank you for staying this late. Casey Chibuzo. Now I have to go. Good night all. Good morning and good evening, depending on where you are.